Hello, everyone. Welcome to painting. We's painting. We have,
Oh yeah, because you are painting and I am
yeah,
building still.
yeah. We got Max and myself. Max is building, which you can see. Well, eventually it will once his starting stream. I really love the color change in your room, by the way. Watching that, it looks
Yay.
cool.
Ooh, thank you. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's very like pleasing, almost therapeutic to kind of
Hmm.
see the colors change. It's fun. So yeah.
Hmm. And
But
I'm just getting my palette ready. Uh,
oh, okay, nice.
ooh, trying to get this foam thingy to be the right amount of wetness.
Oh yeah.
I can't do it without laughing.
I know, right? It's like you want to say the most awkward things to say, like, oh, I gotta make sure it's moist enough.
Yeah.
You're thinking about,
Gotta make sure it's the right moist amount.
yep, yeah.
It actually holds a
In
lot
order.
of water.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Um, so I thought I'd do something fun, which, by the way, good morning, chat. Thank you guys
Good
for being
morning,
here as
chat.
well.
I see y'all in the chat.
I see you in the chat.
Hit an F right
Um,
now. No, okay.
I thought I would do something fun for us this morning. We'd do a little lore reading. How about that? Does that sound
Oh, do you have like
kind of fun?
something prepared or?
Yeah, so I have this is one of the, I guess you could call it textbooks of Warhammer 40K. It's their codex. For
Oh,
the particular army that I have this morning is called the Adeptus Custodes.
are they cleaners? The custodians? I don't know.
The custodian.
I thought that was the first thing I thought of. Adeptus Custodes. It's just the
the
fancy way of saying they're the cleanup crew.
the Adeptus Janitorius.
Well, the way you said it, genitorious. I thought you were going somewhere else with
Oh
that.
my gosh. Of course.
It's
Janitor, not genital.
Jan.
Janitor.
Enunciation. Pronunciation or is that enunciation?
Uh, Pronunciation, I guess, would be how you pronounce the word. Enunciating is enunciating, meaning, oh, I guess, yeah, I guess that's true. Is it pronunciating or enunciating?
I don't know. I feel like I just broke you. You're like, I don't know now. I had a thought and now, whoopsies.
Because, yeah, I began to explain it. And as I was explaining it, I was like, oh, wait, I actually don't know.
Chat, what is it? Pronunciation or enunciation?
If you pronounce a word, because I'm thinking of, like, remember when I was giving you a hard time about your Canadian accent, and I think you said bag, your baggage,
Your baggage. Yeah.
your bag? That's how you pronounce something.
Mm-hmm.
Enunciating is if you fully articulate every syllable in the word, right? If you fully enunciate.
Uh-huh.
Does that sound right? I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
confused. I'm not gonna lie. It's by my own doing. I regret even mentioning this now.
I'm only on my first cup of coffee, so that's probably why. But yeah.
I'm on second. I was doing like
Ooh.
research this morning. Well, I
Oh,
call it
cool.
research, but it's like I was watching a TV show to prep for Forbidden Frontiers. Yeah, let's just say that it's fun research versus well, actually, most of the stuff for nerd culture is fun research. I can't say that it's ever been like, oh my God,
That's a good
I don't
point,
like
huh?
it. But I do
Yeah.
like it, so maybe I'm a
Well, that's cool.
nerd.
You're a, oh, see, here we go again. Are you a nerd, a dork, or a geek?
Okay. What do you think you are?
Ooh. Um, I think I'm a dork and a geek. I don't err on the side of nerd because I don't believe I'm that intelligent. So-
Sorry, what?
what?
What you don't think? I wasn't expecting you to say that. I'm like, I think you're intelligent. Shut up.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
That
I think
was
nerd, you really have to be like some type of prodigy.
so. Would Gary be technically considered like a nerd then? You think? 'Cause I think he's very intelligent.
I Yeah, I guess you could say that Gary is nerdy because well, he's definitely nerdy because of the amount of knowledge that that man holds in his brain, even
Hmm.
after all the drugs.
Even after all of that, it's crazy.
Right? Yeah. Um, we've got Dispy. What's going
Hi,
on, Dispy? Good to see
Disbrew.
you.
What's
He
up?
says, yeah, he says to announce or to enunciate means to announce. There is enunciate and enunciate, Enunciate. This gets complicated.
It's already sounding complicated. Disbrew, you're further confusing me, which tells me I'm not smart, and I'm okay at admitting that.
I think we're all smart in our different ways, right? Like, I could tell you the first appearance of Silver Surfer in a comic book, but that is knowledge that some might deem is intelligent or smart, but others might deem is absolutely worthless. So I guess it's all relative.
Honestly, everything in the internet world is all relative. Everyone
Yeah.
freaks out about all this different stuff, and then I'm like, well, I don't understand that, but that's cool. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because like even within like your friendships, relationships, you always have these slight differences on things that you were brought up on. You know, all the culture stuff, family, and just your outlook in life, and that's what people end up arguing about, at least in the internet world.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Um yeah, because watch a lot of video essays that may say something like, "Oh, why do you even care?" or "That's not even like, important," or like "That's so, that's not even relevant," or something. But to each and every person, their own, like the classic argument of, are video games and comic books, is that part of culture? Is that important towards the culture war? Which I would argue, yes, absolutely. It's a part of art, you know. And some might argue against that. So,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of its importance. Um, so, and by the way, chat, if you did notice, I just drank some of my coffee, and yes, that is my cat's face on my coffee mug.
Oh my God,
That
did you
is.
buy that or did someone get it for you?
Let me see if I can zoom in on it. Uh, this was a gift from my mom because she was like,
Oh.
yeah, it was like my birthday or something or Christmas, and it was a gag gift at first. It was just like, how funny is this? It's your cat's face on a mug, and now I actually like use it. So there
I
you go.
love that. Thank you, Mama. If you're out there, does she watch your stuff, by the way?
Every now and then they do. They're so busy though, both mom and dad, and dad's super not into this stuff, but mom can understand it. Like she's the one who introduced me to Star Trek.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah.
Oh, that is it's so random because not it's not usually the female. Not usually, a small minority.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. But no, she is more so the artiste. She's a graphic designer, so she introduced me to like that whole realm where my dad he doesn't get it. Like super normie, very just business minded, very practical, doesn't get the whole nerd stuff.
And that's
Um
okay.
oh, that's totally fine. Yeah,
Um,
'cause yeah.
Remind me. So I mix the colors and then put water in it, right?
Yes, so it looks like you already got
I got
your
all the
blues and
colors,
your
yeah,
reds down.
and the
Yeah,
white.
nice.
It's
Oh,
very
nice.
America.
Okay, cool. Hell yeah. America.
America. So now I mix it and put water in it as well, right?
Yeah, so you want to water it down just a little bit. So, I would just continue to lightly dab your paintbrush into the water and then kind of mix it up a little bit and then get some more water until you want it like the right consistency that you have it as. So,
It's a good thing all the colors mixed together is the water color I need. Otherwise, this is awkward. Ooh.
um, I'm glad that people in the chat are using the Gideon emoji. Loving it.
Ooh, I love Gideon. He's so, well, he's a man for one. Man cat.
He
I've,
is,
I've
yeah.
seen a lot of man energy from him.
Mhm.
And I'm glad you're drinking out of his face cup. I think that's pretty cool. Now I
I know,
kind of want
right?
one. I kind of want one with the dogs now.
It's so funny. Yeah, there you go. Get one for Rocky and JoJo. You'd love it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see
So
what we're.
while you're mixing,
Ooh.
I'm gonna read just a little quick snippet
Mm-hmm.
from the Adeptus Janitorials. Janitorial.
Every time you're gonna say that, you're gonna laugh now. I'm sorry.
Well, the custodians, because you said the custodians you would think of as like the cleanup crew.
Yeah. I mean,
And
technically, they're all cleanup crew, I suppose.
technically they are a little bit in terms of like they're the Emperor's cleanup crew when you want to clean up
The murderer.
Xenos and Chaos scum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we want
So they
murder. We'll call these guys Adeptus Janitoris. This
genitalias.
Genitalius, Janitorius. I don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
this is purple space marines, purple, gold, and black. By the way,
um, yeah, and so far I'm looking at your palette, and it looks like that color is uh, pretty similar to the last time you had it. So
yeah,
that's great.
eggplant purple.
Yeah, it's really tough to get the consistency with each painting session, you know what I mean?
But I'm digging this so far. Sorry, I interrupted you so many times. I want you to read the thingy.
No, you're fine. Hey, these I love these conversations, so um because yeah, they're always a lot of fun for us to debate geek, nerd, and dork, which I think we can get back to after this little segment. But so these are the Adeptus Custodes. This is their first, or this is their codex for their army book or whatnot. And I'll just read the first snippet for you, just so you kind of get an introduction to who these guys are. But it says, this mighty host of warriors have access to the most fearsome weaponry and nigh on impervious armor in the Imperium. The Adeptus Custodes are a highly flexible force with a range of hard-hitting infantry, indomitable combat walkers, lightning-fast jet bikes, and thundering battle tanks. Supplemented by the haunting and graceful Sisters of Silence. Yeah, you got
Ooh,
some
I got
ladies in
some
there.
ladies in there.
Yes, ma'am. They are almost invulnerable to the enemy's psychic attacks. Combining all these
Oh.
elements can give you highly versatile and extraordinary powerful force on the tabletop, shattering the enemy when on the attack and withstanding enormous punishment in defense. Let's see. I guess I could read this little last section, which is kind of like their intro to the book. It says, they are the Emperor's bodyguard, his 10,000, the Golden Death. They are his noble emissaries and his pitiless executioners. By their hands are his secrets protected and his vaults guarded. Unswerving in their loyalty and unshakable in their purpose, they are the symbols of the Emperor's unstoppable wrath. For 10,000 years they have stood sentient over the master of mankind and defended his glorious palace. And there's
Mm.
a little bit
His
more, but
glorious palace. That's cool. So
yeah,
his like
so
personal protectors.
they really are just his bodyguards. Um, the the Custodes are pretty freaking dope. I'm reading a novel called Valdor. Oh, excuse me, Valdor, Birth of the Imperium, and it is brilliant. I'm really digging it. So
Mm.
um,
Okay.
I'm kind of on a Custodes kick right now, but
I think
just thought
it's
I'd give you
cool.
some introduction there. Yeah.
So in hierarchy, where are the Custodes versus the Space Marines?
It said that I want to say it's like to every one custode one custode or whatever you want to call them would be the equivalent of like 10 to 20 Space Marines or
Oh,
something.
dang. So they're
So
like
like
highly exclusive.
they're super exclusive and they're very powerful. Um, they are infinitely powerful. Uh,
Oh.
it's like if Space Marines already are on steroids, the Custodes are like the 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 god tier. Like Valdor is even said to be a Primarch to some because he's that powerful.
Oh.
It's really interesting, yeah. But so yeah, just daily dose of lore for the day.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Soon I can call you a nerd in this lore then. I'm gonna call it that.
Well, thank you. You know, I will take that. I think that's a compliment. So,
There you go. I'm learning
um,
so much from you.
no,
Hopefully I can
no,
remember
believe
it
me.
all.
Hey, even, I mean, I've been doing this stuff since I was 8, relatively, somewhere around there, and I have a hard time remembering it all. So do
Mm,
not be dismayed. Smooth the DJ celebrates 1 month of membership. Thanks, dude.
nice.
He
What's up,
said,
Smoo?
I know. He says it's been 1 month. Wow. Hail Max, chat, and coffee. Hail to coffee. Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't live without the coffee, honestly.
Right.
I'm trying to
And
paint his
hail to
balls,
you,
and
Smoo.
it's not working very well.
You're painting his balls? Is that what you said?
Yeah, because I realized I didn't get full coverage.
Yeah, you gotta get all up in them
I
crevices.
gotta get up in the crevice. I'm trying, chat. I'm trying.
You never leave out the balls, actually.
Balls or no balls? The end all be all question from Nick Ricada about Futanari.
That's right. Balls or no balls.
Yeah.
Actually, Space Marines don't have balls. The Space Wolves are the only ones in the Imperium that have balls.
Wow. So no balls in this world.
Yeah.
It's good to
No,
know.
no, no balls for the Emperor's children,
They
or for
don't
the
get
Emperor's
distracted
Space
that
Marines.
way.
Exactly. But the Space Wolves, they fuck. So I'm kidding.
Wow. Wow. I wonder. Okay, you know how like in war they say like people spoils of war. There's things like the R words of the women and all that sort of stuff. Do the Space Wolves
Right.
do that then? I guess seeing it as
Yeah.
they have the balls. Okay.
Yeah, they're the quintessential space Vikings of the 40K universe.
So
So
furries.
they're the furry they're
They're
the
the
furry
furries.
boys. Yeah.
Yep.
They all dress up in wolf costumes and howl at each other, and yep. So
This is
they
this
go
is
to
where it started. Okay, the furry kingdom. I'm kidding. I'm
I
kidding. I'm
and
kidding.
no, you're right, because it's funny because they pretty much are furries. Like they are descendants of like what they call the Wolf Lord, who's just
Mm.
king furry.
The king furry. Oh my god. Smoo was like, this is the second time someone brings up my name and followed by balls comment this week. Apparently
Oh,
people think about balls when they think about you. I don't know.
interesting.
I don't know,
Yeah,
Smoo. I'm sorry.
I wonder if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It's how
But
you interpret it. It can always be a good thing if you want it to be.
yeah.
Balls or no
Um,
balls, Smoo.
yeah, Jay the Deep-Minded brings up a good point in terms of balls. I did I don't know if you saw that, I did the cold plunge this week.
Yeah, how was that? What
Um,
was the temperature?
oof, I think it was 40
Chat, what is that
degrees.
in oppression units? I need
I don't know what that is in the old Canadian in
the Celsius. I might need
yeah.
a translation. I don't have the hands for it right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, unfortunately. In oppression units, that's hilarious. I've never heard that.
Who was it that started that? I think it was Mila.
Oh, that's funny. Mila's great.
She's great. She's great. Oh wow.
Um, oh, did someone give
Oh
you
no, Asmu was saying that Gary said I was a good mod on Friday and follow it with a Roland the Wretched's ball waxing story. Yep,
Oh, that's
I
right.
remember that. Roland put himself in that position, I suppose. Literally.
Roland introduced himself to me at the meetup as the balls guy.
I don't know, and that's the thing. It's like now it's his like shtick, you know?
It's his calling card, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the guy about the balls. I'm like, okay, cool.
Like I'm just out there having a cigarette, drinking my hand. All of a sudden this guy comes up to me, he goes, "How's it going?" I was like, "Hey, what's going on, man?" He's like, "You know Chrissy Mayer?" I was like, "Yeah, I think she's here, right?" He's like, "Yeah, she called me out for my balls." It's just like, okay.
Honestly, I think it's so funny, and it's a great way to be remembered on the show. If you want to be remembered, I guess you could be the ball guy.
You, everyone has something that they'll be remembered by, and you know what? Hey, you
Hey,
don't
if
get to
he's
choose
okay, if he's
sometimes.
well, did he? Did he choose it?
Yeah, I
Or
guess that's
accept it, I
true.
suppose. Could be
He
either or.
raised his hand, Yeah, so he could have kept that to himself, but he
Could have.
decided, nope.
But no,
Yeah.
we're doing it. Oh my God, Zero Cool wants me to hit Ryan in the balls. It's been going on since yesterday. Zero Cool. We'll see. We'll see. Dallas.
I
In.
think I watched. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I think I watched a little bit of your stream where you were talking about someone in the chat had mentioned they want you to bring back the emoji or the GIF of like you hitting Ryan in the balls. Because isn't that on your Twitch? You donate like 1,000 bits.
Yeah, and you get to relive that moment. It's a great moment, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure I have. I can give you 1,000 bits. We'll get that going or something.
On the Twitch, yeah, Zero Cool. Well, I'll be on Twitch later this week on Thursday when I play with Kara, the
Oh, nice.
No Man's Sky
How
thing.
was that? How was No Man's Sky?
Oh my God, it's so fun.
Yeah?
Kara was very right about me liking the game.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
so I'm trusting her recommendations, and 'cause she hasn't steered me wrong yet. So, girl has good taste,
Good, good. I'm glad to hear that.
especially because she's like my weird twin. It's so weird how alike
It
we are.
is it is uncanny how well organized you guys are.
Yep, yep, and
Even down to the pens.
even down to
It's
the
pretty
pens. Yep.
it's pretty wild.
She showed me her little pen collection. I was like, "That's so cute. I love it. I love
I
it."
uh I had a girlfriend while I was active duty, and she she was so funny and I loved this little quirk about her, but she was so obsessed with her pen collection that she would like show me. She'd be like, "Okay, so these pens are for studying, but these pens are for taking notes, and these pens are and highlighters are for reading. So if I'm like reading a book and I just want to highlight or take notes, that's what these pens are for." And I was obsessed. I loved it so much. So I get it. I understand. I
The
understand.
desire to
Yeah.
understand all this. And I mean, like, hey, uh, I might be taking it a bit too far, but if it makes me happy, this is not hurting anyone. This is a hobby that is relatively harmless, just to my wallet. That's probably the only thing that it's not good for. But other than that,
Uh, aren't all hobbies? I feel like all hobbies take up our time and money, but that's what they're for.
yeah. And that it's not the worst hobby. I mean, painting plastic crack is going to be more expensive than pens.
Absolutely.
And this hobby already, I'm not gonna lie, has been uh very expensive. Although I do appreciate that people have gifted me more figures to paint. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Didn't you get a Sisters of Silence
Yes,
box
I
set, I
did.
think?
And then
Yeah.
Rolo got me the Space Marine Primaris Captain, which is pretty cool. So
Hell
I
yeah.
do appreciate that.
I got
Um,
so excited when you showed that to me in
oh my
Vegas.
God, yes. It's pretty cool. And then I think if I bring a figure, I might bring that one, or I'm gonna go shopping. There's a mines workshop that sells Warhammer close to home that I'm gonna
Oh,
go
cool.
to, and see if they have any like single figures that I like. So
Yeah. Yeah, I
that's
know
the
you
hope.
you need to get some you need to get some Slaanesh action with some
I think
boobieage.
so too. I
Yeah.
want the slutty girls or whatever.
You want
um
the OnlyFans hose of the Warhammer universe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's fine. They're all about the sexy time, and I think that's cool. And it's
They are oh sorry, go
no,
ahead.
no, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Uh they are the embodiment of death by snoo snoo.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine
And I love
that?
it. Oof.
That would, people say they want to die that way, but I don't honestly, I don't think so. No, they're like, that's a great way to go, like, with your love and all that. I'm like, that, know how traumatizing that is for your person that you're with? No way would I want that for anyone.
Yeah, yeah. Unless it was like, I don't know.
Unless you
What
both
if it was like
died in a
a
blaze, but that's different.
yeah? What if it was like a vampire though?
That I died from or they died?
Like a vampire kills you because they're like you're in the middle of snoo snoo, and then they bite you, and then you're like ah,
And then I
but
die? No, that's
and then you die.
painful.
But it's
That is painful. When you bleed out? Oh, heck no. I get a paper cut and I cry. So I don't think
oh
biting is going to help. You know, I mean, there's like a little bit of pleasure and pain, but like to a certain point,
no. After a while, the pleasure goes away and it's just pain.
yeah, like you're bleeding out and you're dying, and I don't know. There's nothing beautiful about that, in my opinion. I mean, if you're into that, great. I will not be.
Well, that definitely sounds like Slanish. Um,
Yeah, if she's
she
into
is a
that. That's fine.
mistress. Yeah, she's a mistress of torture.
Yeah,
I guess I should say they are, because they've got.
are they a they them?
I believe Slanish is a they them. She's like this weird, cultish, satanic, like, embodiment of just sex. So I believe she has both organs. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
so
naughty. That's
yeah,
naughty.
it's pretty wild.
Imagine that. She's got two holes and a peepee. That's weird.
She's got she's got all kinds of holes.
Yeah, that's odd. Um, we have Nick S, member for 7 months, saying, "Hey, Xray, any news on Henry Cavill's show? Not that I'm aware of, but I don't know. Have you heard anything?
Well, because of the writer's strike right now, they probably haven't been able to move much on it. Um,
Oh, true.
but the last I heard, they were debating whether or not to go forward with it. Because basically Henry and his girlfriend, who is I think she's the manager over at,
The studio or whatever that they're.
yeah, one of the studios. They bought the rights to it. And so now they're just looking for the personnel to produce it, write it. They need a lot of personnel at this point. So it's still in the early phases, but they're still trying to figure out, you know, what story should they even do? Should they do Space Marines? Should they do um, Imperial Guard? Should they do Inquisitors? Or
Should they do the janitorous?
should they do Genitalias?
Genitalia.
Uh,
Always do the genitalia.
yeah, oh yeah.
Oh my
Watch
god.
watch a Warhammer show about genitalias.
Yeah, just make sure you type it incorrectly. Get the wrong
Yeah,
one coming up.
Adeptus Genitalius.
Like Saving Private Ryan or Saving Ryan's Privates. You never know what you're
Yeah,
gonna get.
that's a totally different movie.
Absolutely. So, okay, that's interesting. I wonder, is this girlfriend British or is she American?
That's a good question. I'm not actually sure. I wish I knew that. Sorry.
Chat, do you know if his girlfriend's British or American? Oh, Magnum North for 10 says, I was complaining about getting laid off on May 5th. Now I have 3 companies fighting over me. It's interesting how times change. There you go. Look at that value being shown right now. You got too many people
Wow.
wanting you. That's awesome. Use that to
Dude,
leverage your whoever you end up choosing, because
hell yeah.
competition will drive up your pay if you want it, if it's worth it, if you're worth it. Heck yeah. Just sounds like you are. So congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Congrats. And yeah, be proud of that. Know your worth, and know that you bring something to the team, you know. And like you
Mm-hmm.
said, X-Ray, that's a great leverage point to say, you know,
Yeah, this
hey,
company's offering this, so I mean,
exactly.
I want you, but like I can't. I might not be able to give up this offer, and then yeah, smacking on them. Thank you, Magnum. Also says, where's your channel cyborg? Get this money. Mark is not here right now. Although is he in the chat? I haven't seen him in the chat. I think he's still asleep. I miss that
Uh,
teenage life.
I do that with my potential dates. I go, listen, I got a girl over here, but I want you. So no, I'm kidding. That's not how
Wow.
it is.
Don't use that as leverage when you're dating. Oh my God.
Yes, please do not do that. That is awful advice, and do not do that.
But we'll hear it like a couple months later. But Max, you told me this. I'm like,
Yeah,
awkward. Did you
I
watch
s-
the 10 seconds after?
right. I said no such thing. Deflect, deflect.
God. Some of the dating advice that is out in the world is like absolutely ridiculous,
Oh,
though.
it is asinine. Um, Cajun Corey for 12 months. Holy shit, dude. 1 full year. Thank you, brother. He says, a year already. Hail to you. That's awesome, man.
What's
Thank
up,
you for,
Cajun?
yeah, thanks for that.
Oh,
But yeah, no, in terms of bad advice out there, my God, I sent Tugs this clip this morning. But there's this clip of the Whatever podcast going around, of course, again, Whatever podcast.
mm-hmm.
Um, and it's this, I mean, I've already been cussing on this stream, so I do apologize, but
That's okay.
just this douchebag who's like, I'm not triggered by you, right? I'm not triggered by you. And this woman who's like a trad wife, she's like, don't you think it's a little like you're a man of self-control, right? So why can't you control your urges to just be with one woman? And he's like, I'm not wired that way. And by the way, you don't trigger me. I'm not frightened by you. And all this like bullshit. And I'm just like, this is so
Oh yeah.
embarrassing for
I
you,
saw
dude.
that. I saw that. And I was like, dude, you're so triggered right now. It's fine.
He is exactly by him saying, I'm not triggered. He was like, I just think you're
Admission.
annoying. I
Admission
was
of
like,
it.
you literally just by you saying that, people know that you're triggered by her.
Because
Um,
it's just true. It's like, and hey, if you want to date multiple people, you go on ahead. If that's your goal, is to just f as many girls as possible, that is by your right. You should want to do that. If you want to do that, that's fine if you're able to. But don't say that you want to settle down with one person and not, actions speak louder than words.
yeah, yeah.
So,
And I guess what her argument was basically just you can do that, but your happiness may not equate to what you think it may be. You know what I
hmm.
mean? Like if you think that you're going to be happy, with 50, because basically he was like, what if I have kids with one woman, but I have 50 girlfriends on the side? And she was like, you can do that if you want, but I guarantee you're going to be unhappy. And that's when he just flipped his shit and was like,
Oh, really?
you
I
don't
didn't.
tell me what to do and blah, blah. And she's right, though. Like, I don't think he would be happy. Um,
He's just
he'd be
trying to find
miserable.
what's next.
Yeah. And his family would suffer,
Yeah, you keep trying
like,
to find your next girlfriend while you have your kids. Like,
yeah,
I don't
those
completely
kids are
agree
gonna,
with that.
right? Those kids are gonna despise their father, and their mother is gonna have no self-respect if he's out dating 50 other women.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of misguided information right now on these podcasts, and these guys
And
think that they're just the end all be all.
those guys that are on those podcasts, they have a platform and they're able to access a lot more women than a lot of the people that they talk to.
Hmm.
And so it's kind of like this very backwards, asinine, like recommendations. It's like, you're not a normal person anymore.
Yeah.
People can't do what you do. Sure, someone can make as much money as you, but is like the exposure. Is it really fair to put that type of advice out there? I don't know, but that's why I've have the whole like going through red pill manosphere stuff has been very interesting for me because you know the people they try to reach out to. Sure, the realization is good, but is the advice 100% perfect? No, but I think that it'll help guide people to understand things that are going on in the world. At least in my opinion. I think that
Yeah,
part is
yeah.
cool. Because I do have to say there's a lot of stuff that the red pill stuff has uh, awoken me,
Yes.
about, and that has
Made
made
you
me
woke.
reflect. Like, I have been like that. I've done that. And It's not okay. But that
Yeah.
realization and learning from it is the better part that I think people need to realize that is good about that sort of stuff. So you still need to think for yourself in the end on what you want in a relationship, not what they say you should want.
That's a great point, X-ray. Yeah. Like, because I think a lot of these young guys follow this stuff blindly and they just say, well, if this guy thinks this, then that's what I want too.
Mm-hmm.
And that is incorrect. You should be thinking for yourself. And though the manosphere plays an important role, it is not the end all be all. And you can actually be better than the people on those podcasts. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because some of their advice is awful, but it has a place because you can either push back or you can question it or you can take it and utilize it as a talking point to say this is not how to be a true man, but because I think a lot of these manosphere guys think that the measure of a man is by how deep his pockets are instead of how deep his impact on is in the world and in his community.
And that's the
Um,
thing that I think that when you talk about relationships and we're talking about high value man, it just everyone's going to have a different definition on what high value is. But if we're talking about generalized world, when you initially start dating, sure, maybe you're looking at what they do, how much money they make. But there's a lot of factors that come in after that that aren't being talked about personality wise that you want in a partner that are pretty important. Um,
yeah, yeah.
which, I mean, when you first start dating, you're not going to think about all those little things, but I think there is a place to have that conversation. And the panels don't typically have those conversations. There are some, but I think it depends on who the panelists are in terms of getting to that next part after dating and the actual commitment action.
Do you also think that the host plays a pretty important role in that and guiding the discussion and
They
leading
should
those
always guide the
conversations?
discussion, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, there's going to be times that, like, think about, and I don't want to bring this up specifically for that, but like, if the panelists take over the conversation and you don't guide it, we could have fights like that Brittany Venti and Alex Stein fight that probably went on a little longer than it probably should have.
Oh, I
Um,
didn't see that or hear about that, but
Yeah, which I mean, people fight and they argue and debate, but if the debate gets cyclical, it's like, okay, let's move on.
right, right.
Because we can agree to disagree, and that's fine. But we want to have an actual good conversation. We don't want it surrounding the same topic that has the same words being said in different ways or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But that
Because
depends on the host.
it's yeah, it's a lot of like um what was I gonna say? It's once it becomes cyclical, it's almost like, okay, that person's not listening anymore and they're
Mm-hmm.
just trying to get their own talking points out. And so we're not actually making any progress. We're now making backwards progress, like
Mm-hmm.
um we're now regressing. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when the conversation needs to stop. When the two individuals don't want to listen to each other anymore because they're so ingrained in what it is that they
Yeah, and
just want
it's
to talk
fine.
about.
People are going to have their opinions, and I think the panelists disagree. I think they have some good, valuable conversations, but yeah, we need to still have a entertainment factor, and that's at least what the host should be kind of monitoring and controlling.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's just my personal opinion, chat. Buckshot member for 3 months says, Usin member message to say purple marines equals hawk lords. I've never heard of that. Did I say
Hawk
something
Lords.
wrong?
I don't know if I've heard of that either.
We
Yeah, I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I'm so sorry. I didn't understand that. Buckshot.
Mhm.
Iron Omega for $10 says, Xray, you should check out the Canadian miniature company Creature Caster when you decide to get your Slaanesh demons. They're ultra sexy and not derpy like Games Workshop demonettes. I'm going to take a picture of that. Thank you, Iron Omega, for the recommendation. Actually, if we have a chance while in Dallas, Max, we should go to a Games Workshop.
Oh boy, do you think we're gonna have time?
Probably not, but
I was gonna say Vegas was We didn't even take a breath in Vegas.
Uh-huh.
And I have a feeling that Dallas will be similar. But
I mean,
uh,
I'm leaving Monday in the evening, so I have all day Monday to do whatever I want.
oh, okay.
So if
Maybe we could
you're
do that then.
if you're not leaving till after then, so yeah.
Yeah.
Because you'll
Okay.
are you flying or you have your car?
I'm flying, yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. We'll figure it out.
But that would be super fun. I would love to go to a games workshop with you because then we could just, you know, window shop and uh God, now I sound like a girl.
So we can go shopping.
It's nerd shopping, chat. Don't get on me for it.
Max wants to go shopping for
Oh
figures.
no. For a bunch of Barbie dolls.
Oh,
No.
Hawk Lords are a chapter of Space Marines. Oh, okay, okay. That makes a little bit more sense. Thank you, Buckshot. I did. It's
I
crazy that there's chapters within the species. Species.
right?
Is it called
I think
species?
it's
What do we
we're
call
the
groups of
I don't
people? Species. I mean, they're all not human, so
know. Well, they're like superhuman, I guess. They're altered human. Space
mutants.
Marines are mutant scum. Um, but I was gonna say, yeah, it's crazy how many subsections and subfactions there are. Because like, for instance, I'm building a Black Templar right now on my stream, but the Black Templars are actually successors to a larger chapter of the Imperial Fists. You know, and you also have the Crimson Fists, which are like another successor chapter. So you have all these different chapters that are, you could call them loyalist chapters or successor chapters to the main original, you know, Primarchs that the Emperor created and stuff. So I think the, what did he say, Dark Hawks? Is that what it was? Something like
Hawk
that?
Lords.
Hawk Lords. So yeah, that might be a successor chapter to one of the, maybe the, I don't know, Blood Angel or something. Who knows?
We are
But
learning at the same time as we are doing.
yeah,
There we go.
that's what's so wild about it is that no matter how many years you've been in the hobby, you can always learn something new about the lore.
That is pretty freaking awesome. Who started the whole Warhammer? Do you know?
His name is Rick Priestley. How ironic is that?
Family?
I sure as hell hope so. That would be dope.
Imagine. That'd be so
I
cool.
I
So
learned
cool.
my long lost like uncle is the creator of Warhammer 40K.
Love
Um,
that. Um,
yeah.
Kalev says Astartes is better than chapters, or I mean, I guess bigger maybe than squad than mini.
Say again.
Astarites. Did I say that right? And then the chapter, and then the squad, and then the mini or mini. I might be saying that wrong. Sorry if I read that wrong. I apologize.
Yeah, that sounds right. Sorry, I was trying to follow. If it's tough for me to if I'm not reading it or looking at it. But yeah, I think basically said you have the chapters and then you have the squad and then the mini. So yeah, each
Mm,
it's like there's so many sub factions that fall in. It's like the Marine Corps, you know, you have your battalion and then your company and then your platoon and then
hmm.
your squad and then your fire team. So it just keeps getting smaller and smaller.
That's what she said.
Oh, well, if you're not doing it right, then yeah. Never mind. That was bad. That was
No,
a dumb
I love it. I love it. The worse, the better it is.
joke.
I enjoy cringe humor because that's basically what my humor is. So sorry, Chad. I'm
Would you say that you have dad humor?
I think I have cringe dad humor. Yeah. It might be a product of having just so many males in my life. Not in like a a
I knew. Yeah.
familial. I have like brothers and my dad and I thought I hung out with a lot of boys, but then I forget that I had the dance background, so I forget that. I am girly, just not as girly as I thought it as I didn't think I was.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think I remember. Was it you who was saying this, where you were talking about basically how someone kind of had to awaken you to your own
Femininity.
femininity? Yeah.
Yes.
And be like,
You're
X-Ray,
girly.
you are pretty girly girl.
Yep.
And you were like, yeah, I guess I am, huh?
Yeah. Look at all your face creams.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's right.
And I was like, oh, well, yeah. Gosh darn it, you might be right there.
And yeah. Isn't that something that you can be a tomboy and still be a girly girl? I love it.
What? I thought we had to choose.
Yeah. You have to choose at 5 years old if you want. I'm not even gonna go there, but yeah.
I didn't even know what I wanted at 5 years old. I said, well, okay, this is kind of fun. What did you want to be when you were growing up?
Ooh. Um, Honestly, I wanted to be like a knight in shining armor. Like I thought that I was gonna be able to be that, which is kind of the military thing, right?
Yes, it kind of translate, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I totally thought that that was like a job. So I thought that I was gonna protect a castle and, ride
Oh,
a horse and protect a king and like, yeah.
hey,
Um,
you could have been one of the knights of the medieval times.
right?
Honestly, if you could go back, do you think you would ever do that? Like the training for it's pretty intense, like
I
marine
mean,
level intense, with
oh,
horses.
I don't know about that. I don't know about
No,
that.
it's you have to go to school for like a year, and then even then you have to become an apprentice, and then like an actual knight and take the levels seriously in that sense, or so I've heard.
The, and you're right. However, you're equating it to the most elite fighting force in the United States. So I
Okay.
think they may be a bit different in their training. However, I do know that their training for medieval times is very excruciating and very difficult. Um, so I will not put that past you
Okay.
because,
How about this?
yeah.
Different but equal in other ways. I think we can agree on that.
No, I will still not agree.
No. Okay. The strenuous. I would say that there's less mental. Definitely say there's less mental
Okay.
than
All right.
Marines, because I will say
Okay.
there's probably that big huge mental component of like, I don't know, being on missions, whereas like you're living a much more cushy lifestyle being a
Yeah.
knight.
You get to go home. You're getting paid to be in front of a crowd, um, to cheer for you and
Yeah.
stuff. Whereas, like, yeah. So I'll say that the medieval times training is very difficult and it's very tough and it is very military-like.
hmm For
But
your physical activities, we'll call it. Yeah.
sure.
I think we can agree on that at least. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. Good. I don't
So
know what it
Mac,
takes to be a
isn't
marine.
isn't medieval isn't medieval times like being in the Marine Corps? It's like, not even different. They're pretty much the same thing.
Well, we should just start making knights Marine Corps members. Oh God, that was a joke. Okay, it was a joke.
That would be pretty interesting to see if medieval times staff members would be able to go through Marine Corps training. I'd like to see
I
that.
would love to go through Marine Corps training just to see what it's like, but will I? Nah. I don't even think I can be part of the army there, to be honest. But if I could do the
I
training,
would,
great.
right? Yeah, I'd be interested to see how, like, if you were just given the opportunity to do the training, but you could tap out at any time. I wonder how far mentally you would be able to go to just kind of,
I don't
yeah.
know. Okay, what is the worst part that you had felt when you were in your training? What do you think
Oh
is the worst
man,
thing for you? Or if you can
that's a,
talk about it. I don't even know if you could talk about it.
yeah, no, that's fine. That's a great question. I think, and you can ask anyone, whether they're a Navy SEAL, an Army Ranger, Marine Corps sniper. I think everyone has felt this at least once, and I could be wrong, but from the guys that I talk to, I feel like this is something that they all kind of have in common, or something that we share every now and then. But that first night when you get to training, and I had gotten in at probably 1 o'clock in the morning, and we were pretty much delivered to our barracks that night. It was freezing cold, it was snowing, and we were on one of those prison buses.
Prison
Y-
bus?
yeah. So they escort us from the airport to the barracks in like a prison bus, and then we get off and go to our barracks. And so this is for officer training, by the way, chat. So this isn't, I don't know the enlisted side of the house, but I just remember they sent me to my rack, and it was like all the way in the corner, and there are like all these dudes just, squaring away away their gear, or trying to get some sleep, or like reading publications, just getting ready for the next day, which was like the initial, here's where hell begins. Um, and I was just like, I remember just sitting there, and I was like, what have I gotten myself into? Um, you're completely alone. You don't know anyone, and you know that the next day will start a 3-month period of pain and torture and discipline and order that will make you into a completely different person to start a brand new career. That could potentially get you killed later on in life. It's a very weird feeling, but it was just kind of this feeling of what the hell have I gotten myself into? Just kind of washed over you. So yeah, I'd say that initial shock of just like, where am I?
That
It's a
sounds very
totally different
daunting.
feeling. Oh yeah, for sure.
Um,
But
you know what? I'll relate it to how I felt going into my first job and thinking, is this my forever? My career? Am I doing this? I don't know. This is
yeah,
scary. Like, I have made a decision to do this. What if I don't like it? What if I hate this? I mean, it's not the same, obviously, in that sense, but that kind of second guessing, I guess.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Okay.
Um, I thought you were gonna be like, interesting. I can equate it to medieval times when
Oh
like
yeah. So when I did my medieval times night training, I felt the
right?
same way
Yeah.
when I was in my barn. Sleeping
Sharpening
with
my
my cow.
sword in the back. Yeah. Sleeping with my cow.
I don't know. Sorry, horse. A horse. Why are the cows there? I
Hey,
don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they got,
I
they got
gotta
to
milk the
drink
cows.
milk. Yeah, sure, why not?
Call it that, sure.
Um, but yeah, so yeah, it's definitely an interesting feeling. Um, I was gonna ask, what was there a moment that when you were in your field, that you were like, I am now confident that this is where I need to be. I feel confident here. I feel like this is my purpose. Did you feel like that at all when you were doing your current job?
Um, no, no. I like to think that I will be adaptable and flexible to whatever happens. I think there is some longevity issues with working in hospitals. If you hurt
Hmm.
yourself and where you can't move, your career is essentially over. So that is something that kind of weighed on my mind, especially when I was part time. Because if you don't
Mm.
work, you don't get paid. Whereas if you're full time, you kind of have a couple options, but you still might have to do an exit. Like if I ended up losing my hand, for example, not that that is something that I fear or feared, or just having the ability to wash your hands, you're kind of done for. You have to be able to wash your hands going in between patients, right? So
Yeah.
and movement, and where I worked, we had a lot of bariatric patients, very difficult patients. It wasn't easy, but that's why I was a strong person physically, maybe mentally, but that's to be decided by whoever I meet if I'm strong mentally. Um, because there were moments that I had like those, like, oh my god, that is such a hard thing they're going through. I don't think I could ever like deal with that type of situation. Um, but yeah, I knew that there might be something, and I kind of kept on thinking, like, what could I do to if that happened? And I always said I would go to become like a clerk. That's not a bad job. Answer phones, book appointments, check people out if needed, that sort of stuff. But then again, look where I am now. Not even
Did
in that field,
you
100%.
was there ever a moment where you were like, because you said that there were moments where you were saying like, oh man, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this like mentally. Um, those moments that you had to kind of push through, were you able to lean on family? Were you able to lean on yourself? How did you kind of push through those moments
One
of,
patient at a time.
yeah,
When you have 20 people waiting for you and you're like, oh,
oh my
I
Lord.
have to, I'm by myself. So you just have to wait. And it's just the way it is. This is public healthcare system, you know? People
Mhm.
ask for things and you got to do it. And I know everyone here is an emergency, okay? I get it. Everyone's suffering. But that's why I found communication was a very important part of my job. And just say, look, I got a lot of people. I'm going to do one at a time and I'm going to give you my time and effort. So if you deem myself a little slow, just know that I'm doing this to benefit you, not myself. Because if I wanted to go through a lot faster, I can, and people can understand that a bit better, especially when they're
Yeah.
at one of their worst moments of their life. And also, we have to, do a little triage. All the acute patients have to be done first. So if you have a ankle sprain, guess what? The person who's having a heart attack is going to go first before you because they have a likelier
That,
chance of dying. And people need to understand that part about public health
yeah,
care, which
yeah, for
it's
sure.
hard. Because like you guys have like both, right? Public and private.
I believe so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
I wish I knew more about our healthcare system, but I don't.
yeah, there's benefits to both, and the waiting game is the hardest part, and there's a lot of rules to things that people can get in the public healthcare system, and sometimes it's not fair, and if you don't fit those rules, you don't get things for free or whatnot, or I mean, you do technically have paid for it prior to with your taxes, um, and yeah, that sucks, especially when you keep getting bumped.
It's it's like I think there was a comedian, who was it? Or maybe it was like a show or something. Um that they were of course joking, but they were like, you know, yeah, I think it was a show, but they were saying like within food, they were like they should serve whoever is hungriest. Instead of like
How do you equate
instead of who
that?
got there, like who got there first. So like even if you have a reservation or if you got to a restaurant first, it's like, oh, who's hungriest? Oh, you are? Okay, you get the next table. Um, and that for some reason that reminded me of when you were like, yeah, someone who probably had a heart attack is going to go before someone who has a sprained ankle or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes sense for healthcare, maybe not so much for the food service
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah. And that's perception too. How do you perceive how hungry you are? It's like pain. My level of pain tolerance is going to be very different from your level of pain. And same thing with hunger.
Yeah.
So that would be very difficult to equate. Um and thank you, Magnum Norse, for becoming a banana member. Oh yeah, we got a couple of healthcare workers in the chat. It is very hard
Oh,
working in
nice.
a hospital. Very hard. But I don't want to be like that, like, pity me. That's the reality.
No. Oh my gosh. I don't get that at all from you. That doesn't sound like that
But
at
you
all.
should
So
pity me, Max.
you are oppressed, X-Ray.
I am
You are
so impressed.
you are a minority. I will say, as a white man, I will tell you that you are oppressed.
I love when
Because
people
that
do that too.
because that makes sense, right?
Yeah, I'm like, do you know more about
Ridiculous.
my female perspective? Sure. Sure.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, you are a minority female entrepreneur. Like God, I should
All
just be kissing
the
your feet right now.
all the hard things that you had to experience. Psst. Everyone experiences hard things. I think that's the thing that we don't like think like when, especially individuals think about that can't relate. It's like no one has an easy life. Even the rich people don't have easy lives.
Yeah. And it's all relative, but you look at like movie stars and rock stars and stuff, and their substance abuse, their mental health issues, like even for the best, or even for the ones that we think have it all together, even they're going through some
Hmm.
stuff. But
Like I was listening to a Call Her Daddy podcast with Madison Beers, who I don't know who she is, but apparently like the stuff that she went through as a kid, because she had leaked nudes of herself that she had sent her like
mm,
boyfriend at the time, and she was underage, and I think she found out at like 15 that this was happening. I'm like, oh my god, things that I could never understand, and having all the crazy people being like, it's your fault. Was it really her fault? I don't know. She's underage. She shouldn't know anything better.
plus it's like, I don't know, that's so, especially if it's like to your boyfriend. Like if you're just sending out nudes to all types of different people, it's like that's one thing, but you're trying to be intimate with someone that you think is special, and then for
Mm-hmm.
that to be plastered all over the internet
It
is just like,
sucks.
oh
It's
gosh,
not her
dang it,
fault.
dude.
I mean, sure, she probably shouldn't have sent those, and it's a learning experience. And unfortunately, it's at a massive, massive scale. Um, but
I'm
yeah,
feeling you.
to have people tell her that it's her fault and kind of going through that, like the stuff that celebrities go through, like that is on a different level, but still, dang,
Yeah.
would not want to experience that. I'm okay being a nobody.
Are you kidding me? You're not a nobody. You are the Xray Girl. You had one of the biggest lines opposed from Gary at the Vegas meetup, so I don't think you're
Aw.
just a nobody. Don't worry.
Well, yeah. Well, I like living my nobody life, my daily life. How about that?
Okay, that's
Mm,
fair. That's
yeah,
fair.
it's
Um,
nice walking around the grocery store and no one knows you. Whew. Can't
yeah,
imagine what that's
yeah.
like for people. That video of Ben Affleck, have you seen that with J Lo?
Oh, I love that so much.
I feel so bad
He,
for him.
oh, he's such a trooper, man. He is just like, I don't think he's upset at J-Lo. He's upset, obviously, at the paparazzi that's filming him.
Hmm.
But he's just like,
That look on his face, he's just
yeah.
like, I've never seen a man so tired.
Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast for 12 months, dude. Another year celebrating 12 months of membership. Thank you, brother. He says, okay, I've given you nearly a month. Have you done all the things yet, Max? Well, I don't know what all the things are, but I
Oh,
have watched the music video, if that's what you're talking about.
what music video?
And
Manowar?
he sent me or he recommended a music video for me to watch, and it is gut-wrenching and it is beautiful.
Oh.
But now I will say, Man of War, I was only able to get through like the first minute or so, few minutes, because sometimes sometimes the war stuff can be hard for me to watch, so I have to kind of parse it out. Like for example, Terminal List, such an amazing show. Jack Carr and Chris Pratt have done something beautiful for the veteran community. They made it accurate, they made it real, they made it gritty. It's a bit too real though. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And I had a
PTSD.
really, yeah, and so the first episode got me. It got me really hard. So, Man of War, thank you for the recommendation. Thank you for your 12 months of membership. But like I said, I got to parse out the music video a little bit because I didn't recognize, or I didn't realize that, it's got some of that stuff in there. But yeah, you never know when it's going to hit. Sometimes you're good and it doesn't
Hmm.
even phase you, and other times it hits you really hard and you're like,
That's what
oh,
PTSD is all about. It might even just be
yeah.
a feeling. Like all of a sudden you're like thinking about loss and you're like, ooh, wasn't
Yeah.
expecting that at that point. And
Yeah.
it's tough. I watched a video this morning about a guy who's a vet and who's having difficulties with Veterans Affair. He's like in his truck, like shaking because hasn't had consistent doctors.
Oh,
And
yes.
I felt so bad because, and this is a problem with even just like regular healthcare, but like I get like mental health is so hard to deal with, especially with the stuff that you personally have seen, your loss and losses of other people, and maybe even at your own hand, which I cannot. Ugh, that is insane. But having to deal with that and having inconsistency of doctors and all that because of how bad the system is. It sucks. You could
Yeah.
feel it.
That video is hard to watch too,
Oh, you
because
seen
like,
it?
yeah, because yeah, like you said, he's literally shaking. He's shivering because he's just so upset and
Overwhelmed.
so lost. Um, and God, I think every guy who's been in the military has been there at least once. Just, it's hard to watch. It's really hard to watch because we all kind of have that empathy uh, towards him, and
Mm.
good for him for, fucking putting out that video. That takes some balls.
Calling him out,
Um,
or them out, not him out.
yeah, and being openly emotional, like, God, that's uh that's something you don't see every day. So,
Oh,
Manowar, once again, thank you, brother. I greatly, greatly appreciate you, your friendship, your membership. So thank you for being here in the chat. Love you, brother. And hopefully, will I get to see you in Dallas, man? If you're still in the chat, let me know if I get to see you in Dallas, because Xray Girl and
I
I
will be
will be
there.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
And we'd love to
Magnum
see you again.
Magnum Noise for 10 says, I work in the manufacturing side of healthcare. My recent drug was a cure for SMA, small mesenteric arteries. I might be
Oh.
mixing up my acronyms. Um, I've saved multiple babies' lives. If you save one life, you save the world entire. Hey, healthcare, if you do the drugs right, it can change so many people's lives. Look at diabetes for one. That was like a huge one, for example. So, yeah, I agree. SMA. Please drop it in the chat, Magnum Norse, what SMA means, because I'm butchering it, I think. The small mesenteric artery is not actually a disease.
Hmm. It's like the military, where like someone will mention like an acronym, and I'm like, another acronym? How many acronyms do we have? You
There's
lose
so
track every
many
now and
out
then.
there. And like
Yeah.
certain hospitals, one of the ones that I worked at, um, they had a list of okay abbreviations and you had to abide by them. Otherwise, like if I had an order with a abbreviation that wasn't on the list, I can't technically take that order unless it's like, you know, I confirm it with the doctor. And yeah, kind
Oh
of
yeah.
sucks. Spinal muscular atrophy. Oh, maybe that would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andrew Matthews brings up a good point. If you broke a leg and it was in a cast, you would not ask them to run a marathon. When you have a mental problem, people think you look a bit better than you must be over it. And mental health issues, they're not static where it's always happening. It comes and goes, right? And it can sometimes be static, but it really depends on the issue, and you know that is
Um,
between you and your doctor too, to get through that and work through that and help you.
in terms of mental illness.
Yeah, because there are
Yeah.
mental illnesses that are like always occurring, but there are some that it's like PTSD, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
there, but you don't manifest the symptoms always.
Mm-hmm.
So
And some days are better than others. Some things trigger it. Some things don't. Yeah, it's sometimes you don't take your medication, and like, yeah, so you really got to take care of yourself with mental health. Um, Let me ask you this. Do you think that mental health has become glorified?
in some ways, I think it's been used as a pity me and as a crutch.
And
I don't
also,
think you should use it
oh, go ahead.
always. Like, you know,
Yeah.
blame it on this.
I think it's also become an excuse.
Yes.
And I agree with you that it's become a crutch, and like but yeah, like people will be complete assholes, and then they'll be like, "Oh, it's because I have mental illness, or it's because I'm autistic or something." And I'm like, that's not a good excuse. Like,
No, it absolutely is not. You can't you
yeah.
can't blame everything on the one thing. Like it's not fair. You have to take accountability. Accountability, that's the word for it. And some
Yeah.
people do not want to do that.
I think Gary is kind of put it into perspective when he talks about, like, AA and being an alcoholic. It's like if you were to continue drinking and know that you have an alcoholic problem, an alcohol problem, and someone's like, "Hey, man, you're kind of being an asshole right now," and then you just like blurt out, "Ah, well, it's because I'm an alcoholic," it would be like, is that really an excuse? Like, you're not trying to better yourself. You're not helping anyone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people that kind of glorify, oh, it's okay, I have mental illness, or like, oh, it's okay, I have autism or Asperger's. It's like, yeah, but don't you want to get help? Like, because not only is it going to make you better, but it's going to make people around you better. You know, it's not just something that you can just be okay with, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and that it's just knowing is half the battle and figuring it out and being okay with it. Because some people are not okay with what they have either.
Yeah.
It's okay to have problems. Everyone has problems. Some seem worse than others, and it's all relative to who you are and how you've dealt with it. And you know, life is not easy,
No,
but it
no, not at
can
all.
be made easier doing certain things, or at least I found for myself.
Yeah.
And admitting to
What?
your problems is a big one that people can't do.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know why? It takes humility, and
Mm-hmm.
no one has humility these days. So
Very, very rare thing for to
very
have
few people.
humility.
Yeah.
Most people today believe those are next to incurable mainly because of the centralized education teaching what the centralized healthcare tells as truth. Interesting. Yeah. The people who are open about their mental health and are actively trying to work on it, great. And I think that's great to share. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Look at well, who is one person that I think is working through a lot of issues? Demi Lovato. She's had a lot happen to her. Some by her own hand, some not by her own hand. And it's
Mm,
like she's still clearly working on things, and that's okay. I
yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
fine. Um,
And you can be, like, because there are some people who are working on their mental health and they can use it as a testimony, So some people can say, hey, I had this issue or I had this problem and I got help and look at how great my life has been since then. And you can do that too. And those are beautiful testimonies to see real world experiences like that.
mhm.
Um, Fieldwell brings up a great point. Hail to you, brother. Thanks for being here. He says, mental health can be a knife's edge. It seems to me that people that really need the help are some of the most reluctant to seek help, and others just use it to virtue signal and clout chase and pity.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, like the guy, that veteran that we were talking about earlier in the video, the guy who probably needs help the most, he probably never reached out for it or made that video until he was at his like wit's end, you know.
They didn't know what to do.
Just yeah,
It's
he's
a very sad place to be in.
yeah.
But yeah, I wonder. I hope he has gotten the help that he needs.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure that people reached out to him after that video and were like, anything that we can do, man, or um, you know, maybe someone from the VA did reach out to him after that. I don't know, but
I hope so.
um,
That's like bad press.
I know the VA has gotten bad press for years,
And
though.
they're
Like
still doing things like
yeah,
that. Uh,
it's government. Government is always going to be. But
oh my God.
now, speaking of healthy or getting help for mental health, though, you have been gardening. Is that right?
Yeah, I have. I got through most of the difficult part, but I'm waiting for the grass seed to grow in the back because I've been trying to get the grass back to what it was before. It was severely neglected for 2 years, and
Oh no.
let's just say there's a lot of weeds and very little grass, and it is a process. I didn't know how much went into growing grass um, until I looked into it this year, and as well as growing vegetables. That has been very interesting.
Oh, nice. Okay. Is Canada soil like, do you guys have, are there vegetables that do better in your
Um,
neck of the woods, or
I
are you guys
mean,
just trying to?
tomatoes are probably the easiest to grow. So we have a couple tomatoes. I have
Okay.
jalapenos, parsley.
Ooh.
Um, let's see, what else do I have? Spinach, lettuce, cucumbers,
Wow, look
and
at you guys.
onion. I'm trying. I'm trying. It let's just say some of the jalapenos might have not made it. Um,
Rip,
yeah, might have a little
rip in
PTSD
peace.
on that. I
Oh no.
was like, did I overwater it? Did I underwater? I don't know.
Oh.
And that's
Yeah,
okay.
it's trial and error.
Trial and error for sure. Um, and uh, hopefully next year it'll be better. I have to figure out what I want to do with the rest of the garden in the back because I haven't touched that because of all the grass seed. I like literally turn on the water and leave because they said you want to disturb it as least as possible for the first 2 weeks before you like grow it. And I'm like, I want to weed so bad because I can see the weeds that I didn't grab.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
like OCD. You're like, I gotta get those out of here.
yeah. But if you go back there and step on the new grass, then it won't grow as well. And it's like, oh, I gotta be patient.
Oh. Man, what a good those are some good life lessons. What's been one of your favorite things about gardening and like getting into it, and or is
Just
there anything that you've learned, or is it just therapeutic, or is it
patience,
just yeah.
therapeutic. It's like tending to just life in general, and this is just my extra like look into it. It's like if you can be patient with a plant and help it grow and all that, then I think that that's a good life skill to have. It might not actually translate to life skills. It might, and that's fine if it does or doesn't. I'm happy doing this, and then hey, it's cheaper on the groceries if that's something that you worry about. I've seen some of those grocery prices, and holy crap is all I gotta say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Holy crap.
Mm-hmm. Groceries are dang expensive. It's not even
Okay.
fair.
So sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say it's like not even fair though how much expensive it is.
Yeah, it's thankfully I am a minimalist like in terms of what I cook, and I use the term cook very, very liberally, I guess. Because I pretty much just grill chicken and hamburger meat and then put it with rice and greens or like a salad or something. So like I do not know how to cook. Like, I'm awful. So I'm very simple. So my grocery list is like the same every single time, and it's very minimalistic. So,
Very
but
easy for you.
y- absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
So I don't see too much of a change in my like finances, but yeah, for someone like my mom who loves cooking and really loves natural ingredients and trying something new all the time, she's like it, you know,
She's
it's
feeling that.
insane. Yeah, she's feeling it pretty hard.
Interesting. Well, that sucks. And I mean, she's
Yeah.
in California, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep. 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 Is there a
Yeah,
lot of
everything here in
farms
Carolina.
in Cali?
More so up north.
Oh, okay.
Um, and kind of like in between, I want to say, at least from what I've seen. But yeah, we do have farms out here. Um, you get them,
I
but
know about the wines. That's it.
oh yeah, wine country, baby.
Hmm. I would definitely love to go and just like go drink at the wineries. Um, do a little bit of pour choices.
Yeah, there's actually a really fun, like what, 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, um, the girl I was seeing at the time, we went on like a wine tasting thing for her birthday, and so we rented out a big like party bus essentially, like the one with
Hmm.
the stripper pole in it, and
Wow, of course.
yeah, and we got all of her friends together and we went wine tasting and like you basically just rent the bus and then it goes from wine place to wine place. So we pretty much just wine hopped.
That is
Um,
amazing.
yeah, it was honestly really freaking fun. I did not expect to have that much fun, but it was a good time.
If you get the right
So,
people. In Niagara Falls is like our wine country version, I guess, of Canada. And we do that all the time. Well, not a bus, but you can even just rent a bike. Although apparently there is such thing. A bike is technically a vehicle. You can get a ticket for riding your bike drunk.
that is wild.
I think that's funny. But
Huh.
anyway, so you can bike around wine country and do that. It is really fun. Like really fun.
That would be fun. I feel like yeah, I would fall over on that bike if I were drunk though.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Mm-hmm. But I have a feeling that it doesn't happen very often. The people that ride their bikes drunk down there get the tickets, but that has happened in Toronto. That I know someone got a ticket for riding their bike drunk.
That is unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine like yeah, imagine going to court and trying to attest, like, Your Honor, I was not drunk on that bike.
I just suck.
Yeah, I suck at riding bikes.
It's my first
Yeah,
time
'cause like
riding a
what
bike in Toronto.
and yeah, like what danger are you putting someone in?
Oh, actually, quite a lot
You're
because you're biking on the street.
yeah, I guess that's true. So you could just kind of fall into the line of cars.
Hit into people.
Yeah.
It's a possibility. I'm not saying it's not, but yeah. I think it depends on the cop that ends up stopping you and what you're doing. Yeah, I think you have to be
Yeah.
pretty drunk for the cop to be like, ooh, ma'am, sir, are you
Yeah.
okay? Has to be pretty bad, I think.
So I'm going to pick out a quick pet peeve of mine here and
Ooh.
chat. I don't know if you guys can see this. No, I don't think you can. But so right now I'm cleaning off mold lines on this chainsword, right? And if you guys can't tell or if you can't see, but there's a mold line that runs down the actual blades of the chainsword. So I can't get to each individual blade that has the mold line on it. And people are probably like, what are you talking about? But yeah, right in between every one of those crevices, there's a mold line. And I'm looking at it right now and I can't even touch it. And if I did, I would have to go blade by blade into each one of the little teeth here and try and remove it, but it is just not worth it. So, yeah,
Max is
sorry, that's
triggered.
I'm very,
Very triggered.
very triggered, chat. Now you guys know if you want to get me angry,
Talk
show
about
me a
mold
picture
lines.
of a mold line on a chainsword. First world problems, I guess.
Things I don't know. Iron Omega relates to you. Removal is a pain in the butt.
Yes, it is by far the worst part of modeling. It's like therapeutic in a way, but at the same time, it's like it's so monotonous. Um,
I like the painting
but
part. This is fun. I get to.
I was gonna say, yeah, how are you doing on that?
So far so good. I got a bunch of I'm doing the 2 layers of the backpacks now so that they're all purple, but I have a feeling I'm going to be doing some fine detailing.
Mm.
Because this is like very inexact, the very opposite of you being ADD about mold lines. I'm just like, blah, I'm putting paint everywhere.
You're like, I can cover it later. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I can repaint it later. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. It just has to dry, and then I put the appropriate layers, and then it's all good. Um, but and my fingers are getting like dirty, and it's bothering me now. I'm such a girl.
No.
Like there's paint on my fingers. Ugh.
As much as you guys love painting your fingernails, you would think,
It's
but
not the same when it's on the skin. You don't get it on the skin.
yeah.
There's a point to not get it there. But anyways, I'm just being a girl and extra prissy. Being a
No,
prissy.
that's understandable.
Yeah. Because if you leave it, probably no one will notice, but they are there. Yeah. The only person that notices is you, which is tough to handle sometimes. Right, Max?
Say again?
It's tough to handle that when you know it's there.
Yes, and that's I was sorry, I was laughing at this chat. Jay, good morning, Jay. Love to see you in here. She goes, Max, take a deep breath and put it down. She goes, it will not show in the paint job. Trust Auntie Jay. All right, Jay, I
Auntie
trust you.
J,
Auntie
the
Jay, I
voice of
trust.
reason.
Voice of reason there. Yep. Mark McGrath, who's down with the MVP? You know me, brother. Thank you for being here as well. Love seeing you in the chat. So thanks for stopping by and saying hi.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Xray, what do you think about this? I MVP is a cool nickname, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
nice little moniker.
Mm-hmm.
However, my full name, Maxfield Von Priestley, is a mouthful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not great to kind of promote a channel with. It's kind of like, hey, where can I find you? You can find me at my full name, Maxfield Von Priestley.
It's a very
And people,
I will say this, it's a very unique name, and you can just go
yes,
MVP and just be like Maxfield Von Priestley. I think that's fine. It's just going to be much easier to clarify who you are. Because that's what your channel name
yeah,
is. I saw it. I literally was looking for it today, Maxfield Von Priestley, and I think it works.
okay. Well, thank you. Because I don't know why I was thinking about it in the car yesterday, and I was like, maybe I need to rebrand because Maxfield Von Priestley, it's very unique. It's very regal. It's a I'm very blessed to have that name. I'm very thankful that it's such, it's so rad. I love it. But for a channel name, I'm not so sure. So, I was thinking about one of my buddies had mentioned a nickname in high school when we were playing football, and we were trying to come up with nicknames, and one of them was Max the Axe, like AXE. And I was like, that's pretty simple and very cool and just pretty like it's easily promotable. Like you can find me at Max the Axe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um I just don't know. It's already been 2 years in the channel, so Max the Axe rebranding like that might be difficult.
Chat, what do you think? Should Max, and maybe more specifically your chat, should he change it? Should he keep it? What do y'all think? I think MVP works very well. You've even made hats, so
I
um,
know that's the thing. It's like
it's
if you guys do have hats, it would be you guys would be like exclusive, members to the origins of MVP, right? But
I also think that if you want to do another channel with stuff,
there
you
you
could do
go.
that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And then that would make sense. It's like, oh, I have a new channel called Max the Axe, where maybe you're talking about battling Warhammer, I don't know, or you have like a sports channel called Max the Axe. I don't know. Not that you're,
Why don't
but yeah.
go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Why don't I start why don't I get into the Manosphere and my Max the Axe channel will just all be Manosphere stuff. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, if you want to get into it,
I
come on
mean,
over.
I don't know. I've got good mentors here with you and Tugs and I mean we could we could do it if we wanted to, but
Ho-
yeah, shoot.
Honestly, I think with like at least Manosphere stuff, like it is a beast, and there's always going to be conflicting stuff, and from what I've seen, people get very angry over that stuff. I don't do nerd stuff, and I think people get angry over that, but I feel like there's so much anger but in dating.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't agree with in that sphere. And it is toxic as hell. I don't want to be putting out those clips of just awful women telling me how nasty of a person I am because of the color of my skin. It's like, Jesus, there's a necessary good here, but there's a necessary evil here. Somewhere in the middle is probably where people should lie. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Let me
Wow.
see here.
Arctic says as long as MVP doesn't have a video of his ankles and chin in the same image, he should be fine. What does that even mean?
Ankles and chin in the same. What?
That's why I was like, I don't understand that. You're putting your foot to your face? Are you
Yeah, am
even
I
that
like in a
flexible?
sex position or something? Yeah, right. Um,
Arctic wolf. Oh.
Woad Warrior says, Max, I got a level with you. When you say the whole thing, you sound like a Bond villain. Yeah,
Max the Axe or Max von Priestley?
Maxfield von Priestley.
No, no,
Yeah,
not so
it's
Max
very.
von Priestley.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Now I have you, Bond.
But I mean,
My full
MVP is a good
name.
way to, and like the great thing about your like even just that acronym is like for a hat, like I love like my Geeks and Gamers wearing the RK Outpost and Quarter Black. I like
Hmm.
um alternative thoughts to the hat as well. So like with Quarter Black's hat, it's quarter, so it's like it's kind of like a nice conversation starter. People will be
Hmm.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
which is like I think nice, like it's like your logo, but also it could mean other things. MVP could mean other
Hmm.
things. The Geeks and Gamers eye it's kind of cool in that sense, but I don't want to have like outward like Xray Girl on my hat. I think that's not my style, but that's just
Yeah.
that's why I have never released a hat yet. But
Yeah, that's kind of tough because it's like you have to have a logo or something very simple.
mm-hmm.
It can't be something crazy.
And I
Um,
think MVP can mean your name as well as like, most valuable player as well. That's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. Um, Holocron Library says, "Are you an axe?" I, I
Uh,
am not. I can be an axe.
who are you axing?
Someone says, "Do you own an axe?" I do own an axe.
Oh.
Shield Wolf says MVP is way cooler than anything else I've heard, well, except for MV penis.
Ah! You're right.
MV penis is the goat
It
here.
is the
Yeah.
goat. We love that nickname so much. Who created that? I don't even remember.
Oh, MV penis?
Mm-hmm.
It was one of my friends. His name is Gray. He lives in Japan. He basically came in the chat and he was basically like, "Who's ready for some greatness?" Like when you say like, "Oh, there's a lot of, the stream has a lot of greatness to it," you know. And he was trying to say that, but he said like, "Ready for the MVP-ness." So it was NESS instead of uh ENIS.
And then the name started it
And
all.
then the name stuck because when you say MVP-ness, it sounds like MVP-ness. So
Most valuable penis.
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 Send Bob's and penis and vagana.
Only Slanesh can do that.
Yeah, all three.
All three in one.
Yeah.
That is
Um.
disturbing.
Oh, Jay said Max the Axe is super cheesy. Oh, really? Okay. All right.
I
That's fair.
honestly, if you're actually into wrestling, that would be a good wrestling channel.
That would be kind of fun, eh? Yeah. Like
Yeah,
just
but I
um
don't know. Up to you, always as always. But I think that you've already spent 2 years being Max von
MVP.
Priestley. It's tough to change that, guys. Look at. Oh
Ash
my
says I
god.
wore my MVP hat and people thought it was Jersey Shore. Nice.
Jersey
Dang, look at you.
Shore.
You just covered him in purple. These
Yeah,
old
we're
purple
gonna get
boys.
some detailing. I'm gonna get black, and then we're gonna start. Um, or should I do white? White, gold, and black, or sorry,
Ooh.
white, purple, and gold, or black, purple, and gold. I think probably purple and gold. The gold will just pop out that much more.
The gold is gonna be cool. I definitely vote for gold, that's for sure.
And they think like the guns should be black, maybe, and then I could do like the white belts or white. I don't know. I don't know.
Hmm.
Hard to
I
choose.
like I like the white, purple, and gold. I think that's cool. The black might get a little bit lost in the purple,
Mm.
but the white might really make it pop. Uh,
Also, like, should I do a third coat of purple or is it two coats?
no, I think two is fine. Like three may be a bit excessive, and it will get rid of some of the detail. So once you've done the second coat, you're good. And thank you, Legion, for the um, advice. I didn't know that you started out as Adventures of Mark and Finn. That's pretty rad. You and your son. So I love that. But yeah, that's cool. I definitely think, there are some, like, if I started as something really dumb, like if my channel name was like, I don't know, Max's comic book collection and toys with Warhammer, and like this long title that just made no sense, then I would
Oh,
absolutely rebrand and people would be like, "Oh, this is way better." So,
way better.
um,
But yeah, I like the name. I think you got a good name, and
well,
I
thank you.
wouldn't. I don't think I would change it. But that's just, you know,
Yeah,
my thoughts.
thank you. Yeah, I'll listen to the voice of reason. You are always a good voice, and the chat also looks like I'm reading you guys, and looks like you guys agree as well.
Thank you, chat, for backing me up.
Let's
Most
see. I want to
valuable
make sure.
pens. I do like pens.
Most valuable pens.
I love pens so
Most
much.
valuable penis. Yeah, if you guys are watching, go either hit that like button on this video, or go over to Xray Girls and hit like on her video as well. I am currently building the from the Black Templars box set. I'm currently building a Primaris veteran squad, essentially, or excuse me, Crusader squad. And X-Ray has been painting her, what was it? Your
Space
Primaris
Marines.
Space Marines, yeah.
Yeah, they're looking pretty
Um,
good. I'm just like covering some areas that are a little sparser on the paint
cool.
because I'm like, I have extra time. Might as well just check out these little areas like the lining. Oh my God, some of it's like it didn't go on very well. I'm missing some gray. I don't want to have that. This is where the perfectionist is going to come out.
Yeah, good. Let it flow through you. That's
Let it
that's definitely
flow
me.
through you. Yeah,
Um,
and it's so silly because I thought I did it, but the paintbrush is it is what it is.
Andrew Matthews says, "Yeah, your new name would just be MCCATW, Max's Comic Collection and Toys, whatever." Just yeah, the most awful, dumb, channel name ever.
Comic collection and toys. That would be such a
Mhm.
mouthful.
Yeah, it's good for it's good for maybe your description, like for my channel description, like
Hmm.
yeah, I talk about comics collections and Warhammer and stuff, but for an actual channel name,
Yeah, you want something with a zinger. Zinger.
um,
Come on.
yeah.
My paintbrush is too big, I think, for certain little crevices.
And Dr. Rachel, good morning
Good
and
morning,
hello,
Dr.
gorgeous.
Rachel.
She says MVP hasn't said hi to me yet, so I'm not hitting the like button until he does.
Oh, snap. Called out.
Fair enough. She is a member and a mod, so yeah, gotta shout
Ooh.
out our girl Rachel.
We love Dr. Rachel. A good head on her shoulders, too, that one.
She does, absolutely, she does. Um, yeah, when we were talking about mental health, she knows mental health more than a lot of other people. She studies it. So.
True, true, true.
Orc Bro says, MVP, could you ask X-Ray to help a mod who lost his account in Nerdrotic Discord? He is our favorite bear. X-Ray, do you
Bear
know about
Bear?
anyone?
I know about a situation, so I will chat with him specifically if that's the case. Don't worry about
Okay.
that.
Thank
But
you, Orc
yes.
Bro. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure
No,
that'll
no, no,
all
no,
get
no.
worked
I
out
think
behind the scenes.
I've heard some rumblings about that, and there is stuff, and that's very personal, private, and that's something I'll talk about with him
Yeah.
specifically, if
Yep.
maybe. So
Um, yeah, no, no, No need to air anything out unless it needs to be. So we're all good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
But
but God, talk about Discord. I still have no idea how it works.
really?
It makes no sense to me. And like it's so interesting. And I think I also just I can't keep up with it because there are just so many different, little things that you can, little chats and stuff that you can go through. It's almost I think it's just really daunting for me. So,
It's overwhelming if you have a lot of Discords groups that you're in. I don't
yes,
keep up with
which
all the chats for a reason. And
okay.
this is also why we have like great mods on the Discord, like Smoo, by the way, mod for the Discord,
Nice.
and
Hail to Smoo.
he he and they the mods help keep things sane because I don't know, with the internet, people just feel like they can say whatever they want.
Yeah, that is the luxury and also the nightmare that is the internet.
Hmm.
Ooh, I'm liking how this guy is turning out. Look at that pose, boys. Hold on, let it focus. Yeah, leaning into it.
Let's see.
Love it. He's
I'm on a delay anyway, so
oh yeah, you're good. But he's kind of like he's leaning on his back foot as he's aiming his bolter, but in the other hand, he's got his chainsword ready to just freaking axe
oh, I
somebody or
see.
slay somebody.
You got axe in one
Um,
hand, or not axe, sorry, gun in one hand, chainsaw in the other. Don't know my weapons
yeah.
apparently.
So
That is cool though.
he's good. Yeah.
I love having the multiple weapons because I assume that if I were a strong, murderous creature, I would want to carry two weapons for my murderous intent.
Right?
That's just
Because
me.
X-Ray's like, that's just me. If I were to be a murderous, warrior
Hmm.
in the 41st millennium, I would probably carry two weapons. It's only fair.
Especially if I'm fit enough to do that. You know how awesome that
Oh
is?
yeah.
Like, I'm not fit enough to do that right now. I'll admit it. It's fine. No?
Hey, I mean, shoot, me neither. Even in the military, just carrying the one weapon was like, whew.
They're heavy. Oh my God, the recoil. Can you imagine while you're shooting it? The amount of pushback you get from that? It's insane. So,
Especially with one hand, it's like, oh my God. But um, I was gonna. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Well, thankfully you have those Sisters of Silence
hmm.
models, and you also have Sisters of Battle, which is another really cool faction. But those women have like crazy weapons.
Do
Um,
they?
yeah, like you think Bolter and Chainsword is gnarly. Sisters of Silence, they got some like wild stuff. It's pretty rad.
Oh, which is kind of funny because Andrew Matthews just said Xray Girl is Sisters of Battle confirmed.
Yes, yeah, there you go.
Oh my
Sis-
gosh.
Sisters of Battle are pretty freaking dope as well.
Mm. Good morning, Mark. He's finally
Good morning.
awoken.
Good morning, Mark. He is awoken from his slumber, eh?
Yeah, his teenage sleep patterns are really showing through today. I'm so
Hey, that's
jealous. I woke up naturally at
that's
like
good.
6 a.m.
Yeah, see, you and I both woke up probably around the same time because you're
You woke up at
Eastern.
5?
Yeah, I woke up at 4 this morning. I don't know
4,
what
sorry, 4,
happened.
4.
Yeah,
I
but
know
my
time.
my military instincts just kicked in for some reason. I just like woke up and I was like, well, this sucks, but I'm here now.
Hey, you have extra time to do stuff. That's not a total loss.
Yeah, it was good. I got some laundry done. I was able to set up my, you know, building table here, feed Gideon, get some coffee. Uh, all right, here you go. Here's a question. Are you a morning person or a night person? Because for
Morning.
me, yeah, like 100% morning. I love the mornings.
Hmm. but I can handle nights, like if needed. Like in Vegas, I closed out every night everywhere we were. I was one of the last to be actually being the last.
You did great in Vegas, and I'm so glad that you got sick afterwards.
Me too. It is. I was so worried, especially the first
Yeah.
night of the meetup, and I was talking to so many people up close and personal. I was just thinking,
Mm.
God, this is a recipe for me to get sick again. And luckily enough, I did not.
Yeah.
So kudos to people not getting me sick, I suppose. I did get sick when I got home, so I don't even know where I got that from. Could have been the meetup, could have been after the meetup. Who knows?
I honestly think it was probably the plane, because those planes are just miserable and they are just ridden with sickies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's what it was. But
Yeah, but either or, I'm glad I was not sick heading home because it always freaks me out. Like if I start coughing on the plane, people will be like, "Eh, why are you here? You're endangering us."
Get away from me, you sickie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I got a lot of night owls in the chat. All right, I see you guys. I see you
Mm-hmm.
guys.
Chat, what about you?
Um,
Night owls? I think most of the people on the internet are night owls, to
right,
be
which is
honest.
so interesting. Yeah.
I would have loved
Um,
to. I think if I wanted to be a morning person, I should live on the West Coast. It'd be the easiest so that I can stay up later for audience members in the evening. Because I just at 10 o'clock, I'm like, I want to go to bed
yeah. The West Coast time frame is dope as hell.
for a morning person. Yeah.
For morning and night, I feel like, because if I'm in the morning, I if I'm a morning person and I wake up early, I'm pretty much on everyone else's timeline because I'm up early, but they're up at a normal time. Um, but if I'm a night person, even better, because yeah, it's like when it's 10 here, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. So I can stay up not super late and yet still catch any streams or, videos or
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. So
Yep. I
it's
know
a
advantages and disadvantages.
disadvantages are that everyone hates me and California is a hellhole
You
and
could
every
go to like Seattle, maybe.
every dating, whatever.
There
Anyway.
has to be some actually. So I did you watch the interview with Lynn Jones on Poor
No,
Choices?
I didn't get a chance to see that, unfortunately, because I just finished up with Mark, and right after I went and got dinner.
Mm.
But yeah, how did that go? Was that fun?
It was so fun. So she lives in Cali, and her kids are of like 19 to 20 somethings, and her one son has a girlfriend who actually she like really likes, and I'm like that is actually surprising given it's California that you found someone that's like actually like a decent person because you don't
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not saying that there's not decent people out there in California. I'm just saying from what I've heard there's not many.
No,
So
there are no decent people here. No, I'm
yeah,
kidding.
including Max, who I'm talking to right now,
Including
apparently.
me. Yeah. I will even say that even I am not decent. No, I'm kidding.
I've heard the way he speaks.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, it was a pleasure talking to her because like breath of fresh air, Californian, and very very based and the way her perspective on dating. It's very interesting to hear it and. I think it's worth anyone who is interested about relationships or a little bit about Kelly and family life and whatnot. You should check it out. He is a inker, as the internet has told me. He does do drawing as well, right? Right? You know.
Yes, he
Okay.
did. Kelly Jones. Let me just tell you, Xray. So, um, uh, quick peek behind the curtain. You guys, your internet was out for the whole day, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was in contact with Mark, talking about, hey, we might have to postpone. And then he was also like, if we need to call you in for backup, essentially, would you be able to fill in for Poor Choices, to interview uh, um, Kelly's wife? And my heart started pounding because Kelly Jones is a legend in the comic book industry. So I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, I have so many questions, you know? Um, even for his wife, I would love to hear how that process was for her
Mhm.
husband, what she thought about him in the comic book industry, all that stuff. But I was like, ultimately, you know,
The internet
I
did
would
come back
stand.
on.
The internet did come back on, and I was grateful because it's not my place to, be on there with her.
Hey,
That's you guys,
if you
so.
want what next time, who knows? Maybe that would be like a good chat because I mean we did the that time in the month with her, but I would love to get her thoughts on a more like sip and chill type of episode where we bring in like articles and reactions and stuff like that. So
Ooh, yeah.
maybe that would be fun. So yeah. And she's so lovely. I felt such a great presence over email, which is so hard to do. And I keep saying that,
Oh,
but like I enjoy her quite a bit. So
oh, that's so cool. I'm really glad you guys made that contact. That's really
yeah,
rad.
because like who would have thought that? Well, I think Melissa, Mrs. Nerdrotic, helped get in
Yeah.
contact with Kelly, and so it was kind of them talking, and then to help coordinate stuff. Of course, I helped, and then from there, get to meet. I mean, Kelly, awesome work and all, but I'm a big fan of Lynn.
Well, fine. I'm a fan of Kelly, so
I mean, I can
I
appreciate he does stuff really good drawings and
I
art.
can appreciate. Oh my God. No, 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 no. Appreciate is you can you would be baffled at his art. It is awe-inspiring.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no,
I've
I'm just
seen
giving
his
you a hard time.
covers. They're really, and I see when people say that he has a certain artistic style that is just unique to him, and it's
Very
his
unique,
stamp
yeah.
of individual um, talent. I don't know,
Oh yeah.
art styles, all that stuff. So, yeah,
100%.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
I'm glad that it went well. That's really cool that you guys had that opportunity with her, and I'm sure she absolutely loved it too. So,
She replied back and she complimented us, and I'm working on doing interviews and how to do an interview, and guess what, the internet helps a little bit, but it takes a lot of practice, and especially someone who I don't know as well and might not have as much information out there, so I couldn't research
sure.
as much about her specifically. um so that was a process for me to make up
Yeah.
questions because yeah.
I always find, yeah, that's kind of the most difficult part is coming up with questions that aren't just like, so where are you from? It's like
Mm-hmm.
you want to ask things that really make them think, or things that maybe they've never talked about before on a live stream, or something that is like very insightful. So those are tough to figure
Yeah,
those out.
and I didn't want the interview to surround around Kelly and his comics either, although that is a big part of their life.
Hmm.
I wanted to appreciate it and then still have it concentrated on her
Of
and
course.
her relationship, which still deals with Kelly, but I didn't want to be like all just comics.
No, I think that's really smart that you did that, and I love that. So
Yeah.
I will have to go check it out, and I'm sorry that I haven't gotten a chance to yet.
Oh
But
my gosh, don't worry. It was a while ago. And how many days? Like 5? Feels like 5 days now. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff to consume on the internet. Maybe too much.
plus, yo, yeah, it really gets overwhelming. Plus, did you guys even talk about boobs once? Come on, let's be real.
No. So we
Yeah,
couldn't
that's why I
summon
didn't
you.
show up. There you go. There it is,
That's
and
why he couldn't come to the actual stream. Without the boobs, he's like, who am I?
yeah. I
Oh.
I don't feel summoned. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we're getting an As raid. What's up,
Hey,
Raiders?
nice.
Guessing he's just finished his morning tea. We're having morning coffee. I have
Yes, we are.
too
Morning
much coffee.
coffee
I'm
and
like buzzed, but I need it for today because today is one of those like I still have to read. I'm not peeing, by the way. This is coffee being poured into a cup. Um, just to be clear.
thank you for the clarification.
I'm not pulling a Gavin McGinnis.
Ah, Good, good.
But what was I saying? Oh
You've
yeah,
got a lot
today
to do
because
today.
my head has to be in the game. Like Saturdays, gaming streams are easy, but with like the Forbidden Frontiers, it's like being back in school.
Yeah, it really is almost kind of like you're studying and learning and have
Mm-hmm.
to speak intelligently about this stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I did
uh,
appreciate last week's episode with Jimmy, so it was very Jimmy centric, and of course, Gary already knows everything he needs to know to do an interview style, and
yeah,
for me, I just got to enjoy. This week we're doing more episodic stuff with like shows and research, and I'm like, oh my god, because my notes do help conversation if they run out of things to talk about. So it's nice to have that as a backup. So
of course.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Um, Real quick, so I wanted to this is a comment from Calev Knight, and thanks for being in the chat, man. I haven't seen you before, but thank you for being here. He says, I'm conflicted. Do I keep the starter kit armies apart for play function or pilfer my Necrons to Durn the Space Marines to more Night Lord like as I want them to be?
Mm.
Um, so I think there may be, maybe I'm just not, there may be a loss of translation here, confusion on my part, because I sometimes, Xray Girl and I were talking about me multitasking and how awful I am at it, to both read chat and, build or whatever.
Self-professed non-multitasker.
100%. Um, but if you want to make Night Lords, I think is what you're asking. Um, I would go with some Night Lords because that is a really cool faction, and I think you could do some really fun like cool metal.
Night Lords,
Um,
KN or
yeah.
NI?
KNI.
KNI, Night Lords. I want to
Yeah,
see what
and
this looks like.
there's a great book actually on Night Lords that are dope as hell. And hey, Eric O'Sullivan, good to see you too. He says popping in to say hi and smash the like button on the way to Sunday brunch.
Oh,
Have a
they
good
look
one,
so
dude.
cool. Oh my
Night
God.
Lord,
They're
Night
like
Lords are dope, right?
gold. Lots of
Yeah.
gold. Oh my God. The detail. Oh, crap. That is cool. Sorry. I
No,
derailed. My apologies.
you're good. Um, Max professing his love for Kelly is adorable. I, I mean, yeah.
It's
Uh,
like meeting, like when you have such awe over someone's work, and especially if it affected you, I think that's a beautiful thing because it's inspiration.
yeah, absolutely. Um, and there's a point of like fanboying where it's like, okay, this is weird, this is too much, and then there's a passion and an honor to like meet someone,
Mm-hmm.
to, you can sense the difference. Like if someone comes up and they're like, hey, I just want to say thank you so much for the amazing work that you've done. And like, there's a lot of, there's a lot of understanding the art form and
Mm-hmm.
the passion behind that and whatnot. And then
Yeah.
there's just someone who's like, hi, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I don't know what to do. And it's like, it's okay. It's okay.
Which one?
you
Which
know?
one would you be if you met Kelly? You think,
Oh no,
or both?
very, very thankfully, I've never been nervous around, like, I guess you could call them celebrities, influential people.
Yeah.
Um, I think just because you recognize how they are just people too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's not so much of a nerves thing for me. It's just more of like I'm so grateful for what you've done, and I can't express that effectively, you know?
Mm.
So I'm gonna try and do that as best as I can, but it probably won't sound good.
Because I think
It'll
about
probably,
like because everyone like with especially like Gary and the big voices in the sphere and seeing people and how it's affected people, I'm thinking like, who is that for me if I ever had like a celebrity? And I don't think I really have anyone that I like idolize in that sense. I grew up with like
yeah,
Backstreet Boys. I think they're cool, they're awesome, they're just normal human beings. Would I
yeah,
fangirl? No, I would just say like um your music was great, fun for me to dance to, and I think that's awesome that I had that as part of my childhood. but I wouldn't be like, oh my God, you're like the best thing ever.
Start crying. Yeah.
Because
Right.
you see some people do that, and it's like, wow, it's extreme fandom, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think it's super interesting to watch that, that go down. Um, I, I don't know. Yeah, I'm really trying to think. Yeah, but could you? I mean, who's like your? I don't know. What about like Britney Spears or something?
Yet again, I think she's a very interesting person. I actually want to be friends with her more than like have her be like a celebrity I look up to, especially now. She's so much more interesting now with all her, you know, what is it called when she emancipated from her father? It's not emancipation, but
Hmm.
you know what I'm talking about, right? And then
Yeah.
her mental breakdown and finding who she is and her life, taking control of that. I think that's um that does happen to people, maybe not as at that level with the law, but having someone show that you can be free of someone who is oppressing you in a very negative sense, and not just the talking about the patriarchy and all that stuff. I think just the father was not a good role model to have around and controlling her assets
Oh no,
for
of
her.
course. Yeah.
So that when we talk about oppression, that's like the real oppression, I think, for her and the way she had led her life up to 40 years old, almost 50. Like
Oh
that's
Jesus.
insane.
Yeah, it really. Wow. Yeah, that really was a long period of time that she was under that type of slavery and oppression,
Mm-hmm.
from her finances and from her family. Same thing with, I think that happened with Macaulay Culkin too, because he
Oh,
was
did
a child
it?
actor. Yeah, he was
Oh.
in, Home Alone, and I think his parents were still his rightful, like, financial owners at that
Mm-hmm.
point or something like that, and they just took all his money from him. So
Conservatorship. Conservatorship.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So yeah, it definitely happens.
yeah.
Um,
Those people are
but
more interesting as a friend versus as a
as a celebrity,
celebrity that you look up to. I mean, there's a lot of things about her that I think are very good in terms of uh, someone to look up to. There's also things that are probably not as good. Just saying.
what about, yeah, I wonder if this may have cracked the code, but I wonder if it's like people get nervous because they only have one chance to talk to that person and they want to make a good first impression, right? And they're probably like, I'm never going to talk to this person again.
Uh-huh.
So I want to try and make it memorable. And I also kind of want to tell them how much I appreciate them. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's why the Starstruck thing happens and people get all nervous and go
Maybe,
like,
maybe.
oh
I
my God,
think
I don't know. I don't know what to do. And it's like, maybe
there's
that's it. I don't
also
know.
like with that stuff too, because we'll call it celebrities versus influencers in this space. We'll call it influencers,
Yeah,
like YouTube, where the actual is interaction between an audience and the person. That
true. Yeah.
I think that there is something to be said about the having that freak out moment versus I think it doesn't happen as often here because we actually do chat with people,
Yeah.
and I think that maybe it doesn't happen as often. I'm sure it does still, but not at that level. Also, we don't have like millions and millions of people who know about us versus like Tom Cruise. Well, that's a person who I'm sure gets a lot of like, ah!
Right? Oh yeah, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if um I wonder if that's why so many people, well, I do know that that's probably why so many people feel so comfortable around like YouTubers and stuff because they feel like, oh, we've just been hanging out with you,
Hmm.
you know?
It's
Like,
nice when you get a chat going.
yeah, like when you have the chat and you have a great conversation with your chat and you're very close with your community that you've created, like when you meet them in real life, it feels almost like you kind of just already know each other in a way,
Yes. Yes.
um, which is great because that doesn't happen in a Hollywood sense. But it also can be negative because then people might feel too comfortable with you, and then they say some weird stuff that you're like, yeah, no, this isn't the place. You know, so, um,
Yes, maybe, I don't
no, I'm not
know.
saying anything in specifically in particular.
Max
But
got like boobs shown at him and he got very uncomfortable because he's like, that's too much. I don't know. I'm kidding. I'm
we
kidding.
were at Vegas and someone flashed their boobies at me and she said, "Can you please sign M and then V in the cleavage and then P on my other boob?" And I said, "I'll gladly do that."
Exactly. This is exactly what we're talking about. It might be too much to ask Max to sign MVP on your chest, okay? Control yourself.
Control yourself. And by the way, it was a guy. It wasn't a girl who showed me his. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Holocron says, I found the greatest respect you can pay people in the limelight is treating them normal like humans. I agree with that.
Yes. And they appreciate that more so than anything. 'Cause, you know, yeah, I agree with that. There are some people, and I even know YouTubers who are like this, that feel that they are owed something or feel that they're hot or that they're like, you know, it's
Ego.
kind of this, yeah, it's that ego. And it's like, dude, you're a freaking YouTuber. Get over yourself, right? And they're, you know, and I'm not talking about anyone in particular, but I'm just saying that that can happen with celebrities in
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood, in YouTube, you know, sports, where they want to be treated as a celebrity. And if they're not, they feel
Yeah.
disrespected.
Although
And
I
that's
will say
kind of
swag bags for celebrities, I can see why it goes to their heads because they get a lot of free stuff. A lot of free stuff. I
mm,
used to work for a company that helped with TIFF. And when I was there doing like some giveaways to the celebrities, it's like they walk away with thousands in bags to do
bags.
what? Who knows? I have a sister. Let me take this makeup, even though I'm a man. Takes
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the makeup that was right there, and it's like, really? Okay.
Um,
Purses, sunglasses. Oh my god, I was so jealous of the sunglasses. I was like, I want one pair. Those are three
oh
hundred
no.
dollars right there. So yeah. Oh my gosh. We got Camelot in the chat. How's my girl? Hey boys, we're doing good. We're on the second coat of this, and we're gonna do some lining
Yeah.
next week. Do some
Yeah,
lining next
boy.
week.
What's up, Camelot?
Shout out to Camelot. If you haven't followed him yet, you should. And watch our interview. That was fun. Fight Milk. I was a
Oh,
little,
nice.
yeah. I felt a
That
little
must have been
sick after
fun.
drinking that. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh
Um,
no.
Also, Kara, please do bimbo building. I think you should. We should do a bimbo building, shelf building thing. That'd be fun. That'd be really
Hey,
fun.
I still think Kara needs to get in here with her 3D models.
Hey,
She
Kara,
keeps
if you want to join next week, you can.
she keeps talking a big game about
Yeah,
her 3D model skills, so we need to get her in here.
10 a.m. next week. Let me know. We'll do a stream together.
Yeah, but
And then you can take this corner above me. I'll put your little window there.
I will. Yeah, I'll put her in this corner, probably like right. Wait, where is it? Right here, probably like right under you, maybe. We'll figure it out.
Kara
The screen.
under me.
Ooh, Kara's a power bottom. We all know this.
Ooh, dang. I mean, if FNT has shown that I'm a power button, I don't know what.
Oh yeah, you are.
I'm always at the bottom.
You are a power bottom on the Nooner, on FNT. Oh yeah.
I like to say that well, like in my relationship with Mark, I'm like the legs that walks his head around.
Oh my
Without
God.
him, he'd be lost.
So would you say that you perform better as a power bottom?
You'll have to ask Mark about that.
Ooh, okay. All right. I guess next time I see him. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I know for a fact, like without you, Gary would be lost, Mark would be lost.
I know.
A lot
When
of
my
people on
internet went
YouTube.
out, I called him. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna be there. I can't be there. So
He probably started having a panic attack.
he was fine. He was fine. I watched it. He was fine. I think the next time though, I have to actually set up my Starlink so that it's actually working and functioning. I have not taken it out of its box yet. I am an
Mm.
awesome owner. So the thing might not even work. Who knows?
Hmm.
All right. So it is past noon. I got to get some Dindins, lunch. Sorry, not Dindins, going.
Lunches, yeah.
And yeah, Max, thank you so much for the fun stream. I always enjoy these mornings.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much. I was able to get these bad Larrys built. And pretty soon here, hopefully I will be painting as well because I'd like to paint with you. I don't want to leave you hanging. But yeah, I enjoy the building side of things way too much. Um, but thank you again for doing this with me this morning. This was super fun. Yeah, you need to go get lunch. Chat, I will see you guys later this evening. I'm gonna head to church now, and then we've got Max's Man Cave tonight. Xray, you might appreciate this. I think I'm gonna talk about Manosphere stuff tonight.
Oh, I'll make
Yeah.
a note to watch that episode then, because I love hearing men talk about this with other men who are not super on the far side, just to get an idea of
You
what
know,
you think.
it may actually be a solo stream just because I don't know.
Mm.
Um, I don't know if I've been able to reach out to enough guys that would want to speak on it or that are available. So it might just be me tonight, but yeah, I think essentially the topic is going to be is the manosphere uh, like is it poisoning young men, you know?
Mm.
Um,
Interesting. There we
and I
go.
think it's something to talk about. So,
Chat. Thank you so
um,
much. Thank you, Max's
yeah.
chat. Thank you, Max. This has been another fun stream. I missed this the last week. I know we missed it for Mother's Day,
I
but
know, yeah.
it's
We missed it.
it was worth the wait, I think. So
Yes, absolutely.
I will see you guys later for Generation Zero Sunday Fun Day in 1 hour 45 minutes. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
And watch Max's Man Cave.
Oh, thank you.
It's talking about one of his holes, but you know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. just in case someone actually believed it. But yeah.
Well, thank you again, Xray. Bye, chat.
Bye,
Bye, guys.
chat.